Are you prepared to survive for the long haul? In our rapidly changing world where the unexpected has become the norm, long-term survival planning is more than just amassing supplies. It's about creating a sustainable strategy, a roadmap guiding your safety and security through the unforeseen wilderness of crises that might be lurking around the corner. It's about acknowledging that things may not get better in 6 months or even a year, and building a plan that can stretch to 1, 3 years or beyond. Today we're going to dive into the very essence of what every prepper needs to know to construct a survival plan with the durability to withstand the test of time. A plan that is flexible yet robust, adaptable yet concrete. We're not just talking about a stash of canned beans and bottled water tucked away in your basement. No, we're talking about a holistic, comprehensive approach to survival. One that takes into account every facet of your life and leaves no stone unturned. We'll discuss how to assess your needs based on your geographic location, family size, and personal circumstances, how to secure sustainable resources that you can renew and manage over the long haul, and how to stockpile essentials that go beyond basic supplies. We'll cover the importance of health and hygiene, delve into the crucial aspect of security and defense, and explore the value of building a community network. Furthermore, we'll underline the necessity of continuous learning and skills development because in the end, your survival skills are your greatest assets in a crisis. So, get ready to rethink what it means to prepare, to shift your perspective from short-term survival to long-term resilience, to move beyond the mentality of simply weathering the storm to building a life that can withstand whatever comes your way. Let's delve into what every prepper truly needs to know to build a survival plan that lasts. The first step in any survival plan is a thorough assessment of your needs. This involves a careful evaluation of potential risks and survival requirements based on your personal circumstances, family size, and geographic location. This is not about creating a shopping list of supplies, but rather, it's about understanding the challenges you might face in the event of a long-term crisis. Let's start with your personal circumstances. Are there any medical conditions to consider? Do you have pets? These factors can significantly influence your survival strategy. For instance, a family member with a chronic illness might require a steady supply of medication, while pets would need their own food and care considerations. Next, consider the size of your family. The larger your group, the more resources you will need. You'll have to plan for more food, water, and medical supplies. But remember, more people also mean more hands to work and more skills to utilize. Now let's talk about your geographic location. Your environment can pose specific challenges and opportunities. If you live in an urban area, you might face risks like social unrest or supply chain disruptions, but you might also have easier access to resources like abandoned buildings or urban farming areas. On the other hand, rural areas might offer more opportunities for hunting or farming, but may also have their own unique challenges like isolation or wildlife. To assess these risks, do your research. Understand the historical and potential future threats specific to your area. Are natural disasters like hurricanes or earthquakes common? Is your region prone to economic instability or social unrest? These are crucial considerations that can guide your preparations and resource allocation. The goal here is to paint a realistic picture of what survival might look like for you. It's about understanding your strengths and weaknesses and planning accordingly. It's about identifying potential threats and opportunities, and strategizing to maximize your chances of not just surviving, but thriving through a crisis. Remember, every survival plan is unique and should be tailored to meet your specific needs. There's no one-size-fits-all strategy, and what works for one person might not work for another. So take the time to assess your needs carefully and build a plan that gives you the best chance of success. This assessment is not a one-time thing. You should revisit and revise your plan as circumstances change. Maybe you move to a new location or add a new member to your family. These changes should be reflected in your survival plan. Having assessed your needs, the next step is securing sustainable resources. But that's a topic for another day. For now, just remember, survival is not about bracing for the worst, but preparing for the best possible outcome. It's about being proactive, not reactive. So start assessing your needs today and take the first step towards long-term survival. Sustainability is the cornerstone of long-term survival. Picture this: a world where you're not just surviving, but living off the land and the sun, harnessing the power of nature to sustain your lifestyle. This isn't just a dream, it's a crucial part of survival planning, and it all begins with securing sustainable resources. So, what are these resources we're talking about? They're the elements that you can renew or replenish, the ones that don't just run out after a single use. These are your lifelines in a long-term survival scenario, the threads that can weave a safety net of self-sufficiency and resilience. First off, let's talk about water. It's the essence of life, and you'll need a reliable source of it. Rainwater harvesting is a simple, efficient method to secure this vital resource. With a well-designed system, you can capture, store, and purify rainwater for drinking, cooking, and hygiene. Next up is energy. In a world where traditional power sources may no longer be an option, renewable energy steps up to bat. Solar panels are a fantastic way to harness the power of the sun, providing a constant source of electricity for your needs, from lighting to heating and even charging devices. Wind and hydropower can also be viable options depending on your location. Food is another crucial resource. Growing your own food not only provides you with a sustainable source of nutrition, but also gives you control over what you eat. Whether you opt for a traditional vegetable garden or delve into the world of permaculture, cultivating your own food supply is a game changer. Permaculture, a system of agricultural and social design principles, emphasizes the use of renewable resources and a self-sustained ecosystem. Imagine having a garden that mimics natural ecosystems, providing you with a diverse range of foods all year round, but securing these resources is just the first step. Managing them efficiently is equally important. It's about creating systems that maximize your resources while minimizing waste. This could mean setting up a composting system to recycle organic waste into nutrient-rich soil for your garden, or designing your home to make the most of natural light and heat. Remember, the goal here isn't just to survive, but to create a sustainable lifestyle that can weather any storm. It's about building resilience, not just for the next week or month, but for years to come. So, as you embark on this journey of long-term survival planning, remember this: sustainability isn't just a buzzword. It's a way of life. It's about making the most of what nature provides, and in return, giving back to the earth. With sustainable resources in place, let's move on to stockpiling essentials. Beyond basic supplies, a long-term plan requires a well-stocked cache that can last for months or even years. It's like building your own personal fortress, but instead of stones and mortar, you're using cans of food, medical kits, and multi-tools. The first thing you need to think about is food. Not just any food, but food that can last. We're talking about canned goods, dried fruits, grains, and pulses. These staples can last for years if stored correctly. Consider also foods rich in protein, like canned meats or nuts. And don't forget about comfort foods. Yes, even in a survival situation, a chocolate bar can go a long way to boost morale. Next up, medical supplies. In a crisis, you can't just pop over to the local pharmacy. You'll need a comprehensive first aid kit: bandages, antiseptics, painkillers, and essential medicines. Be sure to include any prescription medications you or your family may need. Tools are another key component of your stockpile. A good multi-tool can be a lifesaver in a survival situation. Other essentials include a sturdy knife, a reliable flashlight, rope, duct tape, and a manual can opener. Remember, it's not just about having the tools, but knowing how to use them. And then there are spare parts. If you're relying on any machinery, whether it's a generator, a water purifier, or a solar panel, you'll need to have a set of spare parts on hand. You never know when something might break down, and in a survival situation, being able to fix it yourself is crucial. Lastly, let's talk about storage. It's not enough to just have these items. You need to store them properly. Keep food in a cool, dry place. Store tools in a secure, easily accessible location. And make sure medical supplies are kept in a sterile, dry environment. With the essentials stocked, let's look into maintaining health and hygiene. Health and hygiene are crucial in a long-term survival scenario. It's not just about keeping clean for the sake of appearances. It's about preventing disease and infection, preserving your overall well-being, and maintaining a sense of normalcy in challenging times. Consider a well-stocked first aid kit as your first line of defense. It should contain essential items such as bandages, antiseptics, tweezers, medical tape, and over-the-counter medications for pain relief, allergies, diarrhea, and constipation. A good first aid manual is also invaluable, as it can guide you through basic medical procedures when professional help is out of reach. Next, equip yourself with knowledge. Learn about common illnesses and injuries that might occur and how to treat them. Can you recognize the signs of dehydration, heat stroke, or hypothermia? Do you know how to clean and dress a wound to prevent infection? This knowledge could make all the difference in a survival situation. Hygiene supplies are another must-have. Stock up on items like soap, toothpaste, sanitary pads, and toilet paper. Remember, in a long-term survival scenario, maintaining personal hygiene will not only prevent illness but also boost morale. Preventing illness is just as important as treating it. Simple actions can go a long way in keeping you healthy. Regular hand washing, for instance, is one of the most effective ways to prevent the spread of diseases. Similarly, keeping your living space clean and free from pests can help prevent a multitude of health problems. Finally, don't forget about mental health. Long-term survival situations can be stressful and isolating, which can take a toll on your mental well-being. Make sure to include activities that help relieve stress and keep your mind sharp. This could be anything from reading books, playing games, or even journaling. In conclusion, your health and hygiene are as important as any other element of your survival plan. They require just as much attention and preparation as your food, water, and shelter. With health and hygiene covered, let's turn our attention to security and defense. Security measures are essential to protect your resources and loved ones. In the realm of long-term survival, physical security isn't something to be taken lightly. It's imperative to create robust fortifications that can withstand potential threats, whether they come from nature or from other people. This could mean reinforcing your home, creating a hidden shelter, or even building a fortress, depending on your circumstances and abilities. Physical barriers provide not only a strong line of defense but also a deterrent to would-be intruders. But physical fortifications are only one aspect of a comprehensive security plan. Surveillance systems are another crucial element. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean installing high-tech cameras and motion sensors, though if you have the means, by all means go ahead. More simply, this could mean setting up tripwires or alarms, keeping a watchful eye on your surroundings, or even training a dog to alert you to any unusual activity. The key is to stay aware and vigilant at all times. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Weapons. They're a contentious subject, but in a survival situation, they can be a necessary evil. Whether it's a firearm, a crossbow, or a good old-fashioned bow and arrow, having a means to defend yourself and your loved ones can mean the difference between life and death. But remember, weapons are not toys. They require training and respect. And of course, always abide by local laws and regulations. On that note, it's important to familiarize yourself with the legal aspects of self-defense. Laws vary widely, so it's essential to know your rights and responsibilities. And remember, the goal is always to avoid conflict if at all possible. Use force only as a last resort. But security isn't just about physical defenses and weaponry. There's also a psychological aspect to consider. Long-term survival, especially in isolation, can take a heavy toll on your mental health. Feelings of fear, anxiety, and paranoia can creep in, leading to sleepless nights and heightened stress. This is why it's so important to maintain a positive mindset, to keep busy, and to find ways to alleviate stress. This could mean practicing mindfulness, keeping a journal, or simply taking time each day to enjoy the simple pleasures of life. In conclusion, security and defense are about more than just barricades and weapons. They're about creating a safe, secure environment where you and your loved ones can not only survive, but also maintain your mental well-being. It's about vigilance, preparedness, and the peace of mind that comes from knowing you've done everything you can to protect what matters most. Having secured your resources, the focus now shifts to building a community network. Survival often depends on community strength. Going it alone may seem like an attractive proposition, but when the chips are down, a strong community can make all the difference. It's not just about having more hands to do the work, but about leveraging the diverse skills and experiences that a group of people can bring to the table. Consider this. In a long-term survival scenario, it's impossible for one person to be an expert at everything. You might be a whiz at setting up solar panels, but what if you're not so great at gardening? Or maybe you're a medical professional with valuable healthcare skills, but lack the knowledge to maintain and repair essential machinery. This is where the strength of a community truly shines. The first step is to reach out and build relationships with like-minded individuals. This could be your neighbors, friends, or even online communities of preppers. Exchanging ideas, tips, and strategies can help you refine your own survival plan and introduce you to new concepts you might not have considered. Forming or joining a prepper community can be a game changer. It's not just about pooling resources, but about creating a network of people who can support and rely on each other when times get tough. A sense of community can also provide a much-needed morale boost, helping you remain resilient and optimistic in the face of adversity. Remember, a successful community network isn't just about numbers. It's about finding people who are dependable, trustworthy, and committed to the cause. Clear communication, mutual respect, and shared responsibilities are key to maintaining harmony within the group. In the end, a strong community network can greatly enhance your survival chances. When you share resources and skills, you're not just surviving, you're thriving together. And in a long-term survival scenario, that can make all the difference. With a strong community network, it's now time to focus on training and skills development. In a crisis, survival skills are your greatest assets. When the chips are down and the lights go out, it's not your stockpile of canned goods or your impressive array of solar panels that will keep you alive. It's your ability to adapt, to think on your feet, and to use your hands and your mind to overcome obstacles. The first step to becoming a capable survivor is recognizing the importance of continuous learning and training. The world of survival skills is vast and varied, encompassing everything from fire making and water purification to emergency response tactics and basic electronics repair. Think about it. If you're stranded without power, knowing how to build a fire could mean the difference between life and death. If your water supply is compromised, understanding how to purify water can ensure you stay hydrated and healthy. And if disaster strikes when you're far from professional help, the ability to respond effectively to emergencies becomes invaluable. But knowledge alone isn't enough. It's one thing to read about how to start a fire or purify water, but it's another thing entirely to do it under pressure, when your life depends on it. That's why it's crucial to practice these skills regularly. Think of it like a fire drill. When an alarm goes off at school or in the office, everyone knows what to do because they've practiced it before. The same principle applies to survival skills. Regular drills can help you build muscle memory and confidence, making it easier for you to react quickly and effectively in a crisis. And that's not all. Training and skills development can also provide a sense of purpose and fulfillment. In a world that's increasingly automated and digital, there's something deeply satisfying about learning to do things with your own two hands. It's a way to reclaim your independence, to feel more connected to the natural world, and to prepare for whatever the future may bring. But remember, survival is not a solo sport. It's also about learning from others and sharing your own knowledge and skills. Joining a community of like-minded individuals can provide opportunities for mutual learning and support, making you stronger and more resilient. So, whether you're a seasoned prepper or just starting out, make a commitment to continuous learning and training. Seek out resources, take courses, attend workshops, and most importantly, practice. Because when it comes to survival, there's no such thing as being over-prepared. By continuously developing your skills, you'll be well prepared for long-term survival. You'll be able to face any crisis with confidence, knowing that you have the knowledge and abilities to navigate through any challenge. So keep learning, keep practicing, and remember, your survival skills are your greatest assets. Long-term survival planning isn't just about surviving. It's about designing a lifestyle that can withstand the unpredictable tides of time. It's about being resilient, resourceful, and ready for anything that comes your way. We started this journey by assessing our needs, considering our geographic location, family size, and personal circumstances. We took a deep dive into potential risks like natural disasters, economic instability, and social unrest. This assessment is our compass, guiding our preparations and resource allocation. Next, we explored the cornerstone of long-term survival, sustainability. We learned how to secure and manage resources that we can renew or replenish over time. We discussed harvesting rainwater, setting up solar panels, and growing our own food. The importance of renewable energy sources and sustainable food supplies cannot be overstated. Then, we moved on to stockpiling essentials. Beyond just the basics, a long-term plan requires a stockpile that can last for months or even years. We covered essential items such as long-lasting foods, medical supplies, tools, and spare parts for machinery. We also discussed proper storage techniques to maximize shelf life and maintain the usability of these items. We also acknowledged the importance of health and hygiene in a long-term survival scenario. We emphasized the importance of having a well-stocked first aid kit, knowledge of basic medical care, and supplies for maintaining hygiene. We shared tips on preventing illnesses and injuries when professional medical help is not available. Security and defense were also crucial topics we discussed. We explored physical fortifications, surveillance systems, and defensive weapons suitable for long-term protection. We delved into the legal aspects of self-defense and the psychological impact of maintaining security in isolated conditions. We also recognized that survival often depends on community strength. We encouraged building relationships with like-minded individuals and forming or joining a community of preppers. We highlighted how shared resources and skills can greatly enhance survival chances. Finally, we promoted continuous learning and training in critical survival skills. We encouraged regular drills to keep skills sharp. With the right plan, you can secure a new way of life where you're in control of everything. So let's get prepared, and let's get ready to face the future, whatever it may bring.